think we can start. Good morning and welcome to our webinar dedicated to ERC Starting Grant experiences. My name is Elina Priede and I will be moderating today's session. And this initiative is a collaboration between the University of Latvia and the Latvian Institute of Organic Synthesis. And our main goal is to provide you with practical insights into the application process through personal experiences of two of our colleagues. And you are welcome to share your questions to the speakers in the chat during the presentations or ask them directly in the Q&A session afterwards. And please note that this session will be recorded today. So it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Sanita Reinsone, who is an associate professor at the University of Latvia and head of the Digital Humanities Center. And she will reflect on her experience of submitting an ERC Starting Grant in 2022, advancing to the interview stage, and the lessons she has taken from this submission process. And we will be happy, Sanita, to hear your experience.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for organizing these workshops. I would be grateful if I had a similar one a few years ago. But yeah, I think I will share a screen. I have a very short presentation with the main point just to help me structure what I want to say. All right, yes, here it is. So about my proposal. So I'm coming from humanities field and the panel I submitted back then, it was SH5, Cultures and Cultural Production. Now I have heard that those panels have remixed and it's the design of this one has been changed. It was first time I applied and I advanced to stage 2, which is interview. It wasn't funded. And when I look back at the preparation process, I estimate that it took for me around 2.5 months or maybe 3 months that were spread over 1 year generally. And if you look at the timeline, so October 25 was the deadline. Then, very important note, which I didn't know, I got a request to additionally prove when is my PhD defense date. So I have submitted University of Latvia diploma and it was not enough. So I had I was given 3-4 days to get additional paper from the University of Latvia archives. It wasn't that's easy at that time, but okay. And then the communication about step 2 followed on April 24. Interview took place in June 14 and the results arrived on July 19, just to give an impression. And yeah, basically I think that my experience and other experiences are perhaps field specific. So there are some general things, of course, but I think that's panel compositions, development of proposals, etc., might be specific to each field. Mine is digital cultural heritage and working with volunteer communities. So about the preparations, what I did before I started writing the proposal. So I had several conversations with successful grantees. I learned, especially I wanted to understand this design of extended synopsis, what it is, because it's not average thing that we do in research proposals. So I focused mostly on that in my conversations. Then I invested considerable time in the core idea. And actually, I wanted to submit a proposal a year before, but as I had little time to carefully read all the rules and how it is, I just heard 2-step application process. So I understood, okay, first I will prepare this extended synopsis, submit it, and then if I proceed to step 2, then I submit a full proposal, which is not true. You need to submit all at once. So I learned this 10 days before the deadline, so I decided to step back. But it gave me 1 year. And during that year, I worked very, very much with the idea. And also, I had opportunity to visit international partners. Those partners are not like partners in usual sense of project proposals. I mean, you do not like involve project partners officially. It's like the place where a part of research could be carried out. So I went to them. I knew those people before, so I selected from my network, but my idea was that I need a written letter of collaboration, which means that department heads, directors should also like secure their support, give their support. And eventually it turned out that I was presenting the idea of my research to quite many people, and check how they see it, if they see it valuable, do they want to collaborate, etc. It was successful, and also it helped me to further polish the idea and move on with a more confident mood. And one more thing also that was advice of a successful grantee was setting up an expert advisory board. I approached 2 top-level researchers in the various field. I didn't know them personally before. I explained shortly the idea of my proposal, that I'm applying for a starting grant, and would they be willing to join such a board. Also, informing that there could be like organized conference where they will be invited as a keynote speaker, some things like that. So both of them replied positively, so I could easily add them to this extended synopsis. About the proposal developing strategy, I think it's also very like personal, and we each have like our habits, how we develop research proposals, and it is not very different from how I usually work with my projects, but usually they finish with this step 2, because usually extended synopses are not required for research proposals. So first I worked on the core idea. As I mentioned, I spent quite a time, and it was clear. I developed like a fishbone structure with activities, work plan, etc., and expanded into part B2, like this full proposal. And out of that, I started to work on the shorter version, extended synopsis, which I focused more on not field experts. It's like more general humanities scholars that has to get an understanding about my specific research within their scope of competence. So I try to give like more like a bigger picture what will be done. It was clearly focused and also strong positioned against what novelty it brings, what risks it takes, etc. I didn't include any work packages. I didn't include long literature reviews, and minimal references, etc. More like a snapshot of that. Whereas part B was quite different. It was more research focused, deeply disciplinary, and discussing many things. But also, if I have to compare again with other proposals we are writing, it was quite a pleasant one, because you could focus so much on this research part, less on other things like. Of course, I mentioned some risks, and there was a work plan, but still the main focus, the main thing is what I want to gain with my research. And after that, I worked on my CV and section C. The short comment at the end is that extended synopsis was and CV was read by one of my colleagues, but the full proposal, my full proposal, was not reviewed by anyone. But I do not recommend this. It was okay. I got to the step 2, but still it would be very relevant to show your proposal to as many people as possible, I guess. About the interview, yeah, this is the beginning of a letter that I received when I was invited. Very nice. It already gave me some comprehension that it will last approximately 30 minutes, that I need to reserve 1 week, particular week. Yeah, what I did when preparing for the interview. So first I contacted Liene Kairiša from Latvian Science Council. That was really important because I didn't know anything about this interview process. And Liene provided me with insights, how those interviews generally are organized. She introduced me also to this WebEx platform, which I used first time. And also she contacted me with Jānis, who will speak after me. And we had a conversation with Jānis 1 hour or more long.
Es skatīšos pieredzi. Nē, nevajag. Viss ok.
Okay. Yeah. After that, I also had an online meeting with a recent ERC grantee, especially from my field, to understand the same things, basically. And very significant time I invested in this 3-minute presentation. And I practiced it in front of an international colleague, who is quite an expert in project writing, etc. And then I tried to figure out what questions could experts ask me, and prepared short answers. So that was the preparation part. And now you can see how it looks. So I took a few photos of the process, and generally it was like you are given a 2-hour slot, and you need to sit on a screen and wait while you are invited. And it took for me approximately 1.5 or even more hours. And it's a quite interesting process, a reflective one, sitting on the screen and looking when experts will connect to you. You can see also my desk. I had a large computer, a smaller one where my presentation is and also several notes. It is psychologically challenging, of course. And for me, the stress is not helping with the clarity of thoughts and answers. What I noticed is that the expert panel is very diverse, and their questions range from very, very basic ones, non-specialist, to deeply field-specific. There were a very few confrontational questions, but I had an impression that they are framed out of curiosity rather than negativity. And also, I had this impression that the panel members had assigned roles. I mean, there were 2 or 3 members that were assigned specifically to my proposal, while others, they were asking spontaneous questions. And yes, a few times I was told that I'm speaking too long, that I need to answer shorter because they have a lot of questions. All notes I had prepared, I don't know, in front of me with anticipated questions were not useful because the interview is very dynamic and you actually do not have much time to look around, etc. But what is nice is that overall atmosphere was really, really positive. Experts were friendly. They were making jokes. They were very interested in the proposal. They were joking. But despite, I thought I did everything to make the interview as smooth as possible in technical terms. Still, it was not the case because when you open the screen, you can see a long table where around 14, 15, 16 people are sitting around. And the sound is not that good. I mean, people who are sitting more closely to the microphone, you can hear them better. Those who are more distant, the sound gets worse. And each time you do not hear something and you need to ask, can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question? It's like adding up the stress. So, generally, yes, from my recall, it was quite a stressful event. And also, I was given an advice to like lock myself in the room so nobody can enter. So I did. I asked my director to lend me an office. Nobody was there. You can see, sorry, you can see it here. Nobody was there. I locked the door, but that was the end of the day. And my office back then was in National Library. And at the end of the day, the cleaning lady comes. And can you imagine that I'm giving the most important interview of my life, perhaps? And then cleaning lady has the universal key. And she confidently opens the office and comes in with everything and is very determined to start cleaning. And she cannot understand that I'm giving a very important interview and I need to like show with my hands, go away. And, and still, so it was, it gave additional laughing a bit, but also added up to the stress of mine. So, yeah. What I would have done differently. So during the interview, actually, I understood that most probably, and I will not be among those who will receive funding. There were some things, and how did I answer, and some questions took me by surprise, and adding up the stress, it's like you cannot think so clearly and give that clear answers. So, but first of all, I would take generally this interview preparation more seriously. I think it's not enough with what I've done. There is a need for a professional support, for training, for really training and giving a presentation in front of people you do not know, those who are experienced in this, those who ask questions, those who have read your proposal and they ask different questions, and you need to train yourself like to overcome this stress barrier and be more prepared. So this didn't work out very well for me. And of course, setting up undisturbed settings is also very important. Yeah. So, but generally, this experience in my memory is a very pleasant one, and I'm very happy that I went through this process. And seeing panel experts, chair of the panel, and generally how it is designed, I see that I got additional confidence that this is possible. This is not something, I don't know, with this all imaginations with the ERC, oh my God, what it is, and I wouldn't dare to apply or something. No, it's very human process generally. The most valuable thing, though, was 12 individual expert reviews of my proposal. They were 1 to 3 pages long each. When I am assessing them, I see that 8 were very positive, 3 were positive, but with some questions, and 1 was very negative. And when I look back to how interview took place and what questions were asked, so reviewers' questions very much matched with those commission asked me. So, of course, they have learned those reviews. They have seen what experts of my field have asked about my proposal, and they asked the most important questions to me during the interview. Which gave me actually, yes, those reviews to position my research proposal. Also, I saw where I could improve it for the next time. And generally, it was a valuable experience. Also, it was an inspiration to continue. I haven't done it yet due to different reasons. And also this first-hand understanding how ERC evaluation generally works. So that's my short story, a bit funny, maybe, the cleaning lady, but yes, if you have some questions, welcome.
Thank you, Sanita, for this wonderful presentation. And I especially enjoyed the idea that you mentioned to involve an external advisory board in the project, because this is something we do for collaboration projects, but for ERC starting grants, I think this is a fresh idea, and thank you for pointing this out.